Alright, so welcome to the next episode of Let's Talk Esports. This is episode 5. This is actually the first time I'll be doing a CSGO episode because there is nothing happening in League. There's nothing happening in Halo. There's nothing happening anywhere else except for CSGO, which recently had the ESEA Dubai Invitational. Um, Not really going to be talking about the best of ones too much. I'm going to be mostly talking about the semifinals between Virtus Pro and the finals of VP versus TSM. Um, I think both of those matches have some pretty big significance, actually. Um, I don't think there was ever a point, really, in recent history where um, someone could arguably put VP ahead in world rankings over TSM or Fnatic. These are two of the absolute best teams in the world, and some of the best players in the world, like Olaf Meister, Device on TSM, um, and a bunch of those players, and basically, and Carrigan for TSM as well. But like when you look at the VP versus Fnatic series, this is something that people didn't expect. This is something that people actually thought Fnatic would just take straight up because it's Fnatic. You'd expect them to clutch it out and then just make it happen. Usually when things get close, Olaf, Crims, and JW are usually really good at clutching things out. When you have 3 people on a team that can clutch things out the way those 3 players do, it's kind of hard not to be the best team in the world. But VP played extraordinarily well. However, I do also think that Fnatic played very poorly on Train. And I think that actually tilted them through Game 3 on Cash because Fnatic doesn't really play. Fnatic usually doesn't play that poorly on Cash, and they got 16 forward by VP, who by very reasonable merits is a lower team than Fnatic. So basically, in this game, it really like we could start with Cobblestone, I guess, but a lot of that was VP. VP's oh god. Yeah, VP's terrorist side was really bad. Like they just couldn't get a hold of the oh lord. I don't play CS:GO that much. I've only recently started to be watching it and keeping up with it. So I'm still kind of nitpicking. Um but then correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it is the B bomb site by the statue on Cobblestone that Virtus Pro just could not get a hold of. And that really like that I think like the fact that they tried so many times in that game and just could not get that statue to work for them. Even when they were doing CT and they got there, they were trying to hold it. They just couldn't. Like they just couldn't. Or maybe I had that backwards. Maybe it was on CT side they couldn't get to the statue. Either way, on like this map in this game specifically, VP had very poor map movements around that area. That was very heavily focused on yeah, because Fnatic won like 10 rounds or something like that on Terra side. Um, but VP had really bad movements trying to get there and trying to get Fnatic out of there, so that they can take control and like retake and defuse the bomb, that kind of stuff. Um, so in watching these games, or at least in the tournament, I want to say VP played exceptionally well. Like I don't think anybody would have expected them to play as well as they did. I know Snacks, Neo, and well, I can't even say just those 3. Like the entire team at some point in the tournament just went off in like one game. Bialy had tons of outplays in both of these series. Neo and Snacks were doing fantastically together. where they just came out of every situation almost perfectly when they needed to. And Taz and Pasha was doing fairly well. I guess he was probably playing to the standards you would expect. Um, but everybody else was just like they just picked it up and they just took the tournament with them. Um, but like I said, in train at least, Fnatic's T side was absolutely terrible. They got 4 rounds. VP got 11, and it was really bad. Like the way they tried getting through places, it's like they just didn't have the like in the moment of the game, they just weren't aware of what was happening around them. It almost seems like they've never practiced on this map that much recently. Because I know for a while, Fnatic as a team, it's not easy to pick or like ban maps against them because they could play like all of them. So seeing this kind of performance on Train was really worrying, um, for the Fnatic squad. Um, oh wait a minute. Oh, so coming in. Oh, never mind. Coming into this tournament, VP was actually ranked higher than TSM. I didn't know that. I thought TSM was a solid number two. I didn't even know VP was number two. I thought they were like 3 or 4. I thought Envious was 3 and VP was 4. Envious had a pretty bad tournament also. Ninjas and Pajamas showed kind of like a comeback. They kind of showed some points in their game where they were looking like they're coming back, and then the other parts they were looking like, never mind, we're still ass. Um, but back to VP versus Fnatic. On this train map, there were a lot of times where the Fnatic members just wouldn't like check on top of the trains, or they wouldn't check in certain areas where you would expect someone to be, and they got punished for it. They got punished really hard. They lost a lot of control on this map, and I think it really hurt their mental performance through the rest of the series. Um, in this map, there was a lot of times where, was this I'm thinking of a whole different game. All right, never mind. Scratch what I was about to say. But on the rest of this map, there were a lot of times where Fnatic just wasn't hitting shots that they usually would have, or they could, like, should have. Um, Pronax was doing all right, but he didn't really do too fantastically, I should say. Um, what is yeah? So like essentially I think if Fnatic had gotten CT side first on train, it might not have been all that bad. I think VP probably still would have won though, just because of Fnatic's T side planning. The prep was absolutely horrible. They did not. I like either they didn't expect to get this map, or they didn't practice it because I think they were already good on this map. I don't know what happened, but the prep coming in for this map specifically was actually really bad by Fnatic. Um, and it was actually kind of surprising because you don't expect that usually from Fnatic because they generally have really good preparation for like every map. Um, and then coming into game three, they actually did worse in game three than they did in game two. Um, Cache I just said Cache Cash. They it seems like Train really tilted them like really badly. Like they never like Cash is generally played a lot. At least from what I've been watching, for the amount of time that I've been watching, I haven't been watching that long. I've been watching for maybe about 7 or 8 months or so as of right now. Um, and I only like I don't pay attention to a lot of it. I guess apparently because I know there's a lot of little small tournaments and other offline things on MLG TV that I don't catch that happen a lot. But I see Cash a lot more than Train, and this is something that I know Fnatic has been good on. And they got 11-4 on when they were on CT side. So VP got 11 wins on T side, and then VP just won every other CT side. Like Fnatic did not get a single win on terrorist side. And to me, like being able to switch sides and still not pick it back up, because usually when you see stomps in CS:GO, you see whatever side this team was stomping on. To say they went like they could go 11-4 like Fnatic did here, and then when they switch sides, the other team's prep for the other side isn't usually all that great. So you see a lot of comebacks that way, and the games become very close. We actually saw that a lot in this tournament where I think it was with VP, where it might have been actually in the TSM game that I'll get to, where VP they had a dominant run in one of the games, and then they just couldn't pull it back in one of them. I don't remember where it was. Okay, well, I think I found it, but we'll get to it. They essentially they let TSM win like 7 other rounds before they actually able to close the game. They were dominating. Like I think they went like something like 13-0 or 13-1 or something like that. Oh no! All right, I know what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of when they played Envious. I think in one of the Envious games they went like 13-2 and something like that before the swap, and then they weren't able to close it out until it was like 16-7 or 16-9 or something like that. So that game became fairly close eventually. But you didn't see that from Fnatic in this game, and VP just absolutely destroyed the series. Like they took game one, went 16-7 in Cobblestone, and then they looked at it for a second. They were like, "All right, Fnatic, best team in the world. They're on train. Let's just take one of the trains and drive it into this stage and of their side and just hit them with it and see what happens." And they did, and they got crushed. Fnatic tilted real hard. um, I don't know. I feel like there is a lot more to talk about that I don't 100% know about with CS:GO. But from what I was able to notice, the map rotations for Fnatic on Train and Cash were actually really bad. In this series, not so much of like their actual mechanics as players being all that bad. I know there were still some really cool and sick outplays that Fnatic was able to get in some of these maps. Um, but the fact that they lost this badly, being the #1 team in the world, on 2 maps that they should be very comfortable on, was kind of worrying. It's just like the map movements were really bad. They got caught on Train, coming from the stairs very often, and on the top of the corner near the vents over there, they got caught a lot by VP. Um, so it was definitely a worrying sign to watch as a Fnatic fan. I'm not personally. I mean, I don't want to say I'm not a Fnatic fan. Um, I just like watching the really sick plays happen. But if you are a Fnatic fan, that's probably very worrying to watch. Um, Now in the TSM games, one thing that I kind of noticed was that Zypex or Zpex, whatever his name is, I don't even know how to pronounce that. He kind of underperformed for TSM. Him and Cajun B were kind of They were all right. They weren't like absolutely shit players, but they didn't compared to the way that Kerrigan and Dupree were playing in these matches. They were like not even close. Device was playing pretty good also, but like Dupree alone really picked it up in this series, and Kerrigan was playing out of his mind also, the in-game leader for TSM. But essentially, what happened was the first game was actually really close on Overpass. I think both teams had a pretty good understanding of the map, and it was really awesome to watch. There were a lot of cool outplays. I know Kerrigan went off in this game at some point. Neo had some really cool plays. Um, I think this was no, this wasn't the one. I know Bialy had like a 1v4 outplay at some point during the tournament. I think that was on think that was on. I think it might have been Cobblestone, right? Or it might have been Dust 2. I don't remember, but Bialy had a sick 1v4 on one of the maps. I think it was I think it was against NBS actually. NBS had a really poor tournament, if I'm being honest. I didn't actually expect that. I expected Kenny S to kind of go off. But game one for the TSM set, like I said, was fairly close. They had some really good plays. The map movements for both teams were pretty on point. Now in game two, we're back to train, and VP played this map incredible again on CT side. They went 11 wins to 4 of the TSM, and then they continued to go 5-3. For Terror side, I think VP came into this tournament prepping train quite a bit, and teams probably didn't expect it. And because they definitely look like they are the best team on train as of right now. I don't think there's anybody better than VP on train right now. They definitely look really solid on that map. There's really not much to talk about that one because it was just a dominant team play by VP that won them this map. Dust 2, VP, man. VP fell apart in this game. Oh my god. So Dust 2, and this one was 16-3. TSM absolutely crushed Virtus Pro in this map. By like everything. Like VP was not hitting their shots. They were not making the right moves. They were not making the right calls. And I actually thought they were going to lose the tournament after this game because this game that's a game that would tilt somebody. Like you just went up against presumably a weaker team than you and got 16-3 on one of the most common maps. Like that's not good. That's not good at all. Kerrigan really showed up on this map. Cajun B actually had some pretty good plays as well. But Kerrigan and Device on Dust 2 absolutely went off. Like, this was, like, their game, and they just destroyed Virtus Pro entirely. Like, there was absolutely no chance VP was going to win this map at a certain point. I know a lot of the times with the eco, or when VP went for an eco run, they tried, they attempted, and then they got shut down. They got shut down multiple. They got shut down right after they got the maximum loss or losing streak cap money. So when they got all their rifles for the rounds, they got crushed that round too. So they tried to say oh my god, it was really hard to watch. Like that's not on Dust 2, you don't expect a team to absolutely break down the way VP did, and they just couldn't do anything. The TSM had really dominant aggression on this map actually. I wouldn't say it was very exciting to watch. It was really like overwhelming to watch. I want to say that's probably a better word because it's like you're watching this and you're just like, VP, what are you doing? This is Dust 2. Like everybody plays Dust 2. This is like one of the most common maps. Like what? Like, hello team, and then they just faltered. So game 4 back on Cobblestone. This was a 16-7 again on Cobblestone, but this time in VP's favor. VP played the B bomb site much better on their T side. The first half of the map was actually really close. It was like 9-6 in favor of VP. Very back and forth. Both the teams kind of had a feel for what they were doing. TSM obviously watched VP falter against Fnatic on Cobblestone, and then VP looks like they definitely went back, watched it, and learned because it was definitely a lot better this time than they played against Fnatic. I'm trying to remember like any key moments in this map entirely though. I'm not entirely sure. I'm trying to think of like something key that happened that would actually like win this map. But I can't really think of one right now. I'm pretty sure it had a because I know a lot in this tournament. Bialy had his moments, but Snacks and Taz went off in this entire tournament. Neo had his games also, and so did Bialy and Fasha. but like Taz and Snacks like picked it up, and they kind of ran away with this tournament. Snacks especially. Snacks is playing out of his mind at this tournament, and this is the entire Invitational. Uh, and then we come to game 5, which is Mirage. This was point wise very close. Um, but that is because both teams had a very, very bad T side prep. So in this game, you'll see that VP starts CT side and what goes 12-3. Which was I think this might have been the time. And then when the switch happened, they went to T side. TSM ended up going 11-4. They lost the map, and VP won the entire tournament in general. But VP on T side, their prep was like you're 4 wins away, and you know what they're gonna do because you basically just did it. And they let them grab 11 wins. Almost they made it like a really close game. Like when it came down to the wire in the last like 4 or 5 rounds, the games themselves were really, really close. Um, tons of points where that came down to like 1v1s or 1v2s or 2v2s, even 3v3s, and that kind of thing. Where VP ended up clutching or TSM clutched or they just absolutely dominated because there were so little players on VP, that type of thing. Mm, hmm, yeah. All right. Yeah. I was trying to find something else, but I don't know that map. It's Mirage specifically was very close for both these games. I feel like both of them came in prepping very highly on CT side. I think TSM was. I guess it's possible you could say that they kind of threw um, the knife fight in the beginning to Grant the side because VP like dominated that. It happened really quickly where VP would start CT side, and then I'll assume it's because TSM knew they had a CT strat and they wanted to close it out that way. But it didn't happen. They weren't able to do it. VP ends up winning the entire tournament. Snacks, Taz, Bialy, Neo, Pasha. Granted, they all played really well this tournament. Um, Obviously, you could say that because they won, but I don't think there was actually another team where all 5 players played exceptionally well in this tournament except for VP. Even TSM, they had Zpex or whatever his name is. He had some falters in some of the games. Cajun B is a lot of the times he's just kind of there. So at that point, it comes down to Kerrigan, Dupree, and Device, and then you're up against Snacks, Taz, and Bialy in the clutch, and Pasha too, honestly. And then it's over. Like VP just absolutely crushed TSM. I think Thorin actually put up his new seedings for the teams, but I didn't actually look at it yet. I don't think this should change anything, honestly, though. VP looked really good at this tournament, but I'd still say Fnatic is probably the best team right now. This might hurt TSM a little bit. It might hurt Envious a little bit, too, because Envious played a really bad tournament. It might help Nip because they played a decent tournament. Cloud9 went really close with Nip also. Who knows? But yeah, so this video is probably kind of short. This is my first time doing a CS:GO one. As you can probably tell, I'm kind of iffy with a lot of the details. Um, I was trying to rewatch some of the games before I actually made the video so that I can have them fresh in my mind when I talk about them. But there was a lot of stuff, and I tried to cover it so I can skim over it and then just kind of do it. But as you can tell, it was a little eh. But with CS:GO especially, I would really appreciate comments to tell me how I did or kind of enlighten me in a lot of the stuff and how all these little things work in CS:GO because I don't play it much, but I'm watching it. It's kind of interesting actually. I enjoy watching it. Um, so I kind of want to build my knowledge for the scene and kind of pick up what's good or who's good on what maps, that kind of thing. So I would definitely like some advice or tips, that kind of thing. Just kind of explaining more about the game and the maps, that kind of thing. I would definitely like to do more episodes of CS:GO. I'll probably I don't know if I said it in the first episode, but it's probably going to be a majority of League. I'm actually thinking of doing a Smash episode soon. About how Smash is kind of growing now, a little more popular as a game and as an esport. Um, but yeah, so in the future, when I think there's a major coming up soon for CS:GO, I might do something on that afterwards or by week. I know the CS:GO tournaments are a little quicker than leagues, where they're not like based off weekly. They kind of happen just in like 4 days or something like that. But we'll see. So I definitely would like to do more CS:GO stuff. So basically, let me know how I did, and if you like the content on this channel, remember to subscribe so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Usually it's on Wednesday. This episode was a little late. It's probably going to be up sometime early morning Thursday. So probably like from now, early morning Thursday, most likely. Um, I will try to do them mostly on Wednesday. I might even try to make like a specific day for CS:GO and like League and those kind of things. Because I do kind of enjoy making the videos. So maybe I'll do like a CS:GO Monday or something like that, and keep League on Wednesday, that kind of stuff. Because I know Wednesday is a lot of the League things, anyways, right before Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday when they would be doing like Worlds or LCS, that kind of thing. Um. So yeah. So I guess that's it for this video. Like I said, subscribe to the channel so you know when the next one will be uploaded, because I'm so late or early with these things. I know I did like a random one recently for the group stages for League on Sunday. Sunday. It was on Sunday, and like nobody noticed. So make sure you subscribe so you will notice and you will watch it. I know you want to. That's what I'm here for. I wish I had like some sort of thing to go as I signed out.